Get a quick sound check. You guys hear me and see me? Five. Cool. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you all on a Friday. So lots of questions on the unbalanced fly. I'm going to do a whole thing on Saturday about it, even though we've got videos. There's 4 videos in the bonus videos section in your library, 2 of them on butterflies, 2 of them on unbalanced flies. And in the trading insights and ideas, there's a video on butterflies there too. But I'm going to go over it tomorrow in detail. But as far as NVIDIA, let's just take a quick look. I want to just go over this with you guys. First of all, if you're looking at what's going on in the markets, a little bit of a pullback right now. It's kind of the lunchtime pullback. Here's the advanced decline. Everything above 0. Little bit of a fall off in the advanced decline. Little bit of a fall off in the ticks. Ticks just went positive for the first time in the last 20 minutes or so. You can see the different levels I have here on ES and on the Qs. But one of the things I like to look at in terms of the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, I'll just put them up here in short time frames. So I've got the 5, 15, 30, and 60. And in addition to all the other indicators that are here, main thing I'm looking at is this green dotted line, which is the 200. So you can see here on the 5-minute, that's the first one. You breach the 500, you get a 3-to-1 compression, and it blows up past the 200. Okay, that's done. Now I can look at the next one. Then as we go along through the day, a little bit of 3-to-1 compression here, bangs through the 200. We get a few closing candles above the 15. Okay, done with that. You just keep moving up your time frames. And that's how you build structure. That's how you're building the structure to let you know whether or not the S&P is solid enough for you to take long trades. So now you're looking at the 30-minute chart on the S&P 500, and we're 200 right here. We're having a little bit of a pullback now. Once we break this, we'll then be looking at the 60-minute chart. From here, we can go over to the 2-hour, which is here, and start looking at the 2-hour chart and look at extensions. What I typically will do is just on any chart is I'll just draw the prior swing high to swing low, so I can see where my resistance levels are going to be on the way up. So if you look at here, so this is a 2-hour chart on the Qs, well, on NQ. And look, I just drew a very quick little prior swing high to swing low just to see what resistance levels we were at. You could draw it from here to here to see where that overlaps. But if you notice, the 200 period moving average, which is orange, collides with the 1272 extension right here at 11,065, all right here. That is your first area of resistance that you're going to have to break through, like now, today. So you can also run from this swing high to this swing low. Oops, that's not going to work. Try that again. You go from this swing high down to this swing low, and it kind of overlaps a little bit. So you see a bunch of these fib levels overlapping. So you've got the 100% line from here, which actually lines up with the 618. One of the things that makes this clear to see, once you break through a level, you can right click it and just remove. Right click and remove. So we broke through the 50 here. I like keeping it, but you can get rid of some of these. So you can remove and remove. And that just sort of starts to clear it up a little bit, see? And remove. So now what are we up against? Well, we're up against the 618 of the larger swing high from here to here. That's the gold line here. That's matched up right on, I mean, dead on the short prior swing high. So you see this swing high right here? This little one, it goes up and then down. This level right here matches up with the 618 of this to this. That's what this blurred line is. This says the 100% line and the 618. So if we want to see what the hell that number is, we just kind of go up here and like see what that level is. It's like around 11, 15, somewhere around there, like 11,011. So that's got to break there. And then the next level right here is the 1272 extension crashing into the 200 period moving average. That's this orange line coming here. So that's the next level. Once you break there, the next level you're looking at is right here, 11,135. So I'm just kind of looking at these charts to see what's up. All right, let's look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is getting a nice move here. We're at 504. So our unbalanced fly is, we've got 505, 500, and 495. We short 3 of the 500 puts. That brings in a huge credit when we sell those 3 puts. And that pays for one of these, which is the 505 put, and 2 of these, which is the 495. Why do you do 1, 3, 2? Because you have to have balance. You can't have more shorts than longs, otherwise you'll be naked, which you don't want to be. So you've got 3 shorts right here, 3 short puts, and a total of 3 long puts. Okay, it's actually a combination of 2 put credit spreads and a put debit spread. So if you look at it, you see these 3 shorts. Let's pretend there were only 2 of them. Well, if there were only 2 of them here, I know there's 3, but just pretend there's only 2, you would have a 500, 495 put credit spread. In fact, you'd have 2 of them. Do you see how you've got 2 500, 495 put credit spreads? And obviously, what do you want with a put credit spread? You want price to be above 500, right? But you don't have 2 of them. You've got 3 of the shorts. But remember, you got 1 505 up here. So what do you have? You basically have a 505, 500 put debit spread on top, right? You got the 505 and the 500, and you got 2 of the 500, 495 put credit spreads. When you add these together, these 4 and 2 strikes, you have 6 strikes. That's the entire position. So what do we want to have happen? Very simply, I'm not going to get into detail here. That'll be tomorrow. What I want to have happen is and I get a credit for this, right? We took in about $130 credit when we put it on. And that's unusual to begin with because you buy the unbalanced fly, which is the 132, like we just did. You buy it, but because there's so much credit here in these 500 shorts, you actually get a credit. So it's kind of weird at first to say, okay, I'm buying the fly. Why am I getting a credit when I'm buying it? Doesn't it cost me something when I buy? Yes, but the unbalanced fly is just that way. You put it on for a credit. Now what happens? Well, the only way you lose money is if price is way down here, where the entire put butterfly, unbalanced fly, whatever that is, if the entire spread is in the money, okay, if it's all in the money here, the whole thing will just offset itself, and you will lose the width of the spread less the credit paid. So the width of the spread is $5. You took in 130. So max loss here is 370. That's if price ends up at the end of the day today at 495, below 495. Okay, so that's not what we're looking to have happen, right? So next scenario is it blows past 505. It ends up like right now, it's at 505.71. So let's just say it finishes at like 508. What happens? Well, it's pretty easy to figure out what happens. The entire spread expires worthless, out of the money, right? If price is at 508, what's a 505 put worth? Nothing. What's a 500 put worth? Nothing. What's a 495 put worth? Nothing. If price is up here at 508 and all your puts are down here, these all expire worthless. You might think, well, that's bad. No, that's good, because if it expires 100% worthless at the end of the day, you get to keep that $130. Remember, you did take in $130 and you get to keep it. The whole thing expires worthless and you're done. But what we want to do is we want to not only initiate the trade for a credit, we also want to close it for a credit. How do we do that? Well, as long as price is above 500, but below 505, you can get a credit. How's that possible? Really simple. If price is at, say, well, look where it is right now. Right now it's 506, but earlier when I texted out, price was at about 501. And what I explained to you was the idea is to basically, the first goal of an unbalanced fly is to keep the credit. So on today, if you could close this trade out for 0 or like 2 cents, 5 cents, whatever, then do it. If that's what your goal is. Well, how would that be possible? If price is at 501, let's just say, follow me with this. If price is at 501, the 495 puts, these two are going to be worthless, right? So forget about these at the bottom. The 500s are almost worthless, but there's still some premium left because it's not 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So as we get closer to the end of the day, these 500s will leak premium, by the minute. As long as price stays above 500, these will pretty much be worthless, but there's still some premium left. The 505s is where you're making your money. Look, you've got a 505 put. What's the difference between 505, this put, and the price of 501? Well, if it closed at 505 at the end of the day at expiration, you're not going to wait till the expiration, but if you did, that 505 put would be worth $4, right? If price was down at 501, it'd be worth $4. And if the 495 is worthless, we know that, and the 500s are going to be worthless, then you've got, in this scenario, $400 or $4 that you can close this out at. A credit. So you initialize the trade for a credit, and then you can close it for a credit, additional credit, because of this 505 put that has value. But if we're going to do it early in the day like now, you can't get max profit out of that 505 put, number one, and you can't get all of the premium out of the 500. So it's not worth $4 yet. It might be worth like 5 cents total when you add up the premium here of the 3 shorts and what's left in the 505 put. When it's all said and done, if you could close this trade out for 0, you'd make $130. If you could close it out at like for a 10-cent credit, you'd make $140. If you could close this out for like 50-cent credit, which would be awesome, or even like a 70-cent credit, you make $200. So let's see where it's trading at right now. And then I'll get to a question or two, and then got to get back to the trading. But let's just look at what that looks like. So NVIDIA, I'll just duplicate the trade. If you're not in the trade and you want to see what it looks like on your own platform, you can just duplicate the trade and then look at the opposite order, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I put NVIDIA, options. Let's go to the right expiration week right here. I've got this on butterfly. You go over to the put side, buy, as if we were going to buy it. Let's find the 500 strike. It's right here. Buy it. But this is not the right strike. So let's fix the strike so that it's 495, 500, 505. Remember, the upper strike on an unbalanced fly is the quantity 1, because that's where you want to make your money. You want to make your money selling that last 505 put, because these two are going to be worthless. So there's just one of them. That's how you know. So let's change the strikes. The lower strike, the 495, has 2 of them. And obviously the center strike has 3 of them. See, 1, 3, 2. Where are we right now? Well, price is above 505. So earlier in the day, this was like sitting at like, I saw 8 cents, 5 cents. And then every once in a while it would flash, 08 credit. It was bouncing around between buying it back at 8 cents or getting 8 cents for a credit. It was like bouncing around. Well, now it's above the upper strike. So that 505 put is in danger. We don't care because the whole thing goes above 505. We keep the whole credit. But you're going to see, so it's worth holding on to for a little longer, because if price keeps going up and up and up and up, chances are we're going to be able to close this thing out for a very, very small amount of money and keep the credit. But if the markets start to fall a little bit after the lunch hour and you see this 506 start going 504, 503 half, 502, 501, you're going to start seeing this limit price go for a credit. And that's when you start to make your move and you close it out for the best credit you can get. So as long as it's staying above 505, there's really nothing to do. If you can't be around to manage this and you can get out for 20 cents here, then just go ahead and sell the spread for 20 cents. So look, I just want to show you the reverse order. Actually, no, this is probably for a credit now. All right, so see, I put this on as a new trade. This was like as if I'm doing a new trade. Well, this is still showing the 132. So if I want to see what it would look like to close it, you go over here and click on create opposite order. Opposite order would be like, well, I'm not buying this fly. Now I'm going to sell it. So if I click on that, check that out. You could now close this trade right now for 30-cent credit. So you took in $1.30 when you initiated it, and now you can close it for an additional 30 cents, which would be a $160 profit. See that? See how it's going for a credit now? I've got these reversed because this is the opposite order. I don't have the trade on in my simulated account. That's why I can't show you what a closing order would look like. So I put in a new trade, and then I clicked on opposite order so that it would look like this, as if I'm closing it. Buying back the 1, buying back the 2. Here, I mean, selling the 1, selling the 2, and buying back those 3 center strikes. So this is basically a closing order. And this is going to fluctuate. Price is just going to go all over the place here because the spreads are wide. See that? So now you can close it for 18. Now you can close it for 24, 22, 31. It's all over the place, right? So the best thing right now, depending on your own time, if you've got the next 2 hours to watch this, then watch it. The worst that could happen is that, I guess the worst that could happen is that the markets just gap down and you don't get out of it. I don't see that. If it continues to go up and stay above 505, 506, and just keeps going up, there's nothing for you to do except call your broker and let them know you're managing the trade, because you don't want them to close you out, at market, which sometimes they will do. So especially on a big stock like Nvidia, they may do that. So you're better off, just closing it out. You can close it out. If you're not going to be around for the rest of the day, close it out now. Try to get, as much credit as you can. Close it. Try 20 cents. Try 30 cents. That way you'll keep the entire credit plus a little bit more. End of story. If you want to hold it for a little longer, then just watch it. Just call your broker. If you have TradeStation, call and ask for the trade desk and say, I am managing my Nvidia position. And that way they will take you off of the closeout list that begins just before 3 p.m. on Fridays. Any positions that you have that have the potential of expiring in the money, or large positions that are going to put your account, possibly at risk of assignment at the end of the day, if you don't close them, they will start closing them for you starting at 3 o'clock. Unless you call them and say, hey, I'm managing this position, leave it alone. And they'll say, okay, we'll give you to 3:30 or we'll give you to 3:45, whatever they tell you. And then you're good to close it out on your own. So what do? You watch this number. If it keeps going higher and higher, there's nothing to do except, at around 3 o'clock or so, just close it out. Whatever it is, just close it. You'll keep the credit, get a little bit more credit. If the markets start to turn and this starts to fade, watch it close. The great part about this trade is if the markets turn downward and Nvidia starts to drop, the more it drops, the more money you make. Okay? There's no risk to the upside, but you have more potential profit the closer it is to the center strike, to 500. So if this drops to 506, you can close it even for better credit. 505, 504, 503, 502, 501. If you start getting back closer to 500, this is going to be an even larger credit as the day goes on, because the 500 strikes are leaking out premium. They will be worth nothing, and the 505 put will be going up in price, right? If you have a 505 put, what do you want to have happen? You want price to go below 505, right? So 504 is good if you have a 505 put. 503 is even better if you have a 505 put. 502 is even better if you have a 505 put. You see what I mean? So the lower the price goes throughout the day, the more the 505 gains value. And the 500s are immaterial. They're irrelevant. So are the 495s. They're just worthless. As long as price is above 500, you don't have to worry about those two. They're just going to be dead. So there's a number of ways to close this out, and I'm going to go over this tomorrow. One of the things that you can do is close out the upper portion of it, which is the put debit spread. It's a little bit more complicated, but you basically take out one of the twos that you have at the 495. There's a number of ways of doing this. Kind of weird looking at it this way, but I'll just show you this real quick. The best way to close this out, the easiest way, just close it out. You know, if you put it on as an unbalanced fly, you close it out as an unbalanced fly. Okay, that's the easiest way. One thing that you can do is just close out the upper put debit spread. The upper put debit spread. You can do that. So remember, you've got 1, 3, 2. So if you close out this put and one of these puts, that's the put debit spread, that will leave you with 2 short and 2 long put debit spreads that will expire worthless, which is what you want. And you just close out those 2. So one way you can do it is you can close out the 505, 500, just one of them, and see what you can get for it. That's one way to do it. And I'll go over this tomorrow, but the easiest way is just close the whole damn thing out. Right? So look, right now you can get 30 cents. If you want to close it right now for 30 cents, do it. If you're not around to manage it. Okay, any questions? I got to go. Closed it earlier at 15 cents for 272. Initial premium was 265. Awesome. Ultimate target would be if it falls back to 500 later in the day. Correct. Yeah, just make sure that you let TradeStation know, or toss. You need to call the trade desk. Let them know you're managing it, because they will attempt to close out such a large trade. The way TradeStation works, just so as you know, I'm going to send this out in an email probably over the weekend, but any position that puts your account at risk 4 times, you can go 4 times your account size. So if you have a $5,000 account times 4, anything that's going to cause your account to be upside down more than 20,000, okay, those are the ones that they will look to close out for you. And clearly, NVIDIA being a $500 stock, okay, times 100 is $50,000, and you're short 3 of them. Okay, that's $150,000. If for some reason the short strikes are in the money and you don't do anything with the long strikes or whatever, it's a potential. You don't have to ever worry about that happening, because it'll just balance itself out, but you might get charged with like assignment fees or something like that. So you're better off just closing it out. But they won't touch you. Like if you had a put credit spread on a $30 stock, like a 30-25 put credit spread, that $30 stock times 100 is $3,000. So the most you're at risk is $3,000. They're not going to close that out for you if you have a $5,000 account, because you multiply times 4, 2,000, 20,000, it would be the number that you can go up to in terms of risk, and they won't close out any of your trades. But if you have any trades that could potentially get assigned and throw your account off by 4 times or more of your account balance, they'll close it out for you. This trade qualifies for that. So just, if you're going to manage it into the afternoon, just let them know that you're going to manage it. I called before this. I called TradeStation, say, okay, I'm managing it. All right, we're going to go over this in deep detail tomorrow, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew how to manage the trade. If you're not around, again, I just wanted to make sure everyone's clear. If you're not going to be around for the next 2 to 3 hours, close the trade now and see if you can get 40 cents credit. Close it out for a credit. And then if you got, 140 for it, and you can close it out for another 40 cents, you made, you made $180 per fly, if that's what ends up happening. If this thing just continues to skyrocket, you'll just keep the credit. Nothing will happen, but close the trade out anyway around 3 o'clock-ish. And if price, as we hope, starts to slide down towards 500, maybe we can close it out for $1. Maybe we can close it out for $2. I'm going to hold this trade up until 15 minutes before the close in the hopes that I can get a pin. If I can pin close to $500, then I can close this thing out for $4 and then add that to my credit, and I've made $540. That's how I play the unbalanced fly. That's in my trading plan. I'm not suggesting you hold till 345, but that's how I play it. You have to know what you're doing. You have to really be on top of it, and you have to call your broker so they don't close it out early on you. I don't know about using the chat. I called them and they picked up after a minute. So you just listen to the long recording, and then you press 2 for the trade desk, select equities, and within like 2 minutes they pick up. You give them your account number, your password name, or whatever your safe word is, whatever the hell it is, and a security reminder. And then you just tell them, hey, I have an NVIDIA trade on. I'm going to be managing it. Don't close it. That's it. Simple as that. All right, guys, that's it. Back to trading. Hope this was helpful. Ciao. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comments section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you at the next video.